Hello students and welcome to Unit 3. Let's take a look at our workload. For this unit we are going to read the next chapter in the book, which is chapter 4. Again, I've included the PowerPoints that go along with the chapter. If you've been finding those useful, you can go ahead and use those. I've also included again some object descriptions. In the last chapter we had learned about the user tables, data dictionary view. In the last unit I had posted a reference sheet of the table descriptions for all of the tables in our Justly database and for the user tables data dictionary. In this unit I've added the description for a new table in the data dictionary called user constraint view. You'll read about that in a textbook, but here is the results when I do a describe command on that view, and it's in this document here. I have posted a reminder. I wanted to point out that any table names or any values actually stored in the data dictionary are case sensitive and stored in all caps. This is important when you use the where clause, where you're limiting the results based on trying to match. I have provided a short YouTube video here in SQL Developer demonstrating the use of string literals on the where clause. So please take time to watch that video, because every semester I do have students that ask me why their queries aren't returning any results, and I find it's because of the case that they are using in their search criteria on the where clause. I also want to point out that there is a 30-character limit for any constraint names. So in this chapter, for this unit, you will be learning what constraints are, what they do, and how they help us. Then in your homework assignment, you will actually be creating constraints. And when you give a constraint a name, you're limited to 30 characters. If you don't assign a name to a constraint that you create, the system will auto-generate a name for that constraint, but the name that my schema gives the constraint in my database might be different than the automatic name it gives to you in your database. So when we go and do the assignment in this unit, I am expecting that everybody will make a point to assign names to the constraints that you create. Do not allow the system to just assign an automatic constraint name. And then another reminder that in SQL Plus, know the difference between the run statement, which will run an individual statement and stop when it gets to a semicolon, and then the next icon over, which is run script, which will run everything on the screen or everything that is in a saved script. Our assignment for Unit 3 comes from the back of Chapter 4. You're going to do all of the hands-on assignments in the back of Chapter 4. After each problem, I'd like you to include code that would somehow verify that your SQL statements worked properly, which means that you're probably going to have to be using some of the data dictionary views that you've learned about. I've also provided some constraint naming conventions that I would like you to follow. In other words, if you're making a primary key constraint, it should end, the name that you assign it should end in an underscore PK. That's all explained here, but once again, I do not want you to allow the system to assign the constraint name. Finally, there will be a multiple choice quiz over the chapter reading. You are allowed to attempt the quiz multiple times, and your highest score is what will be recorded in the grade book. I have indicated the number of questions, the time limit, and the allowed number of attempts in the quiz instructions. That's our workload for Unit 3. Good luck, and I will see you in the next unit.